Welcome to the political discussion. So today we're going to be discussing why the 2020 general election is wide open between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. To start off with, let's look at um, the Real Clear Politics polling average. So the most recent poll, the Fox News poll that came out a few days ago, has the two of them at a tie. Now, currently, Biden has a 5.9 lead over Trump, a 5.9 percentage lead over Donald Trump. However, the polling has been all over the place. Um, we have a Biden +4 here, a Biden +11, Biden +5, Biden +8. So we do see lots of discrepancies between the different polls that are coming out in terms of Biden's lead. Currently, we see both of their averages going down. This is probably due to um, a growing number of people who are um, not who don't really know who they're going to vote for. Who don't the undecideds. They don't know if they're going to support Trump or support Biden. This is good news for Trump, as Biden is now under 50%. Before, he was over 50% in the polling average. Um, Now that he's under 50%, it gives Trump an avenue to see if he can increase his polling numbers to then try and at least get close enough to the point where he can win the Electoral College without necessarily winning the popular vote as well. If we look at the 2016 uh, general election, Trump versus Hillary Clinton popular vote polling, um, we can see that Hillary Clinton also was ahead of him. Once the map loads, of course, also was ahead of him for most of the election. A few times where Trump was able to take the lead. In July, after the DNC and RNC, uh, here he almost took the lead but didn't. Um, and inside of November, he did not take the lead as well. So he took the lead once, or actually right over here. In May, he took the lead at one point. So if we go to where we are now at April 7th was the last polling date where the last poll was updated. Hillary was at 49.4, Trump was at 38.9. So if we look at the polling between the two different candidates, we can see that that Biden has had a much more consistent lead over Trump than Hillary did at this point in time. However, uh, Biden's lead at this point was is a bit lower than the lead that Hillary Clinton had. Hillary Clinton had a 9 point lead at this point. So that is good news for the Trump campaign, because they were able to bridge that gap between him and Hillary Clinton, um, even though she had a 9 point lead at this point in the election. However, another counter argument to that is that um, because Trump is an incumbent, people already know what they're going to get with him. So people know what another 4 years of Trump may look like. We've already seen 4 years of Trump, so they already know what they're getting into. Rather, here, they did not. Maybe this is why the polls here were so erratic, because people did not know what they're going to get with either candidate. It was not necessarily a referendum on anybody except maybe Obama. This time it is going to be a referendum on Trump. This is probably why we're seeing more consistent numbers, with Biden leading by a large margin since the polling has begun in September. Um, However, and also to support this argument, no incumbent president has done so poorly in polls going into a reelection campaign since Gerald Ford, who we all know lost his reelection campaign. So that is reassuring to the Biden campaign that because this is going to be a referendum on Trump. People already know what they're going to get with him. We know that no incumbent president has had such poor numbers going into a reelection campaign. So the 2020 general election is wide open. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. We just had a Trump ad released, Trump's first big ad of the 2020 election campaign. Um, very similar strategy to what Obama did to Romney during the 2012 general election, which enabled Romney to define, which enabled Obama to define Romney and uh, to frame the debate around Romney and his business dealings while he was at Bain Capital, and eventually enabled Barack Obama to win his reelection campaign. We're seeing the Trump campaign do a similar tactic, but will it work the way it did with Romney? We saw that Trump did not need to win the popular vote last time. Hillary Clinton went in on election day with a 3-point polling with a 3-point lead in the polls, ended up winning the popular vote by 2 points. Joe Biden currently has a 6-point lead, but it's a much more consistent lead, and we don't know what's going to happen in between. So the general election is wide open. It's going to be a divisive election. I think it's going to be the most divisive election of our lifetimes, or of our lifetime so far, and I think that it's going to be a close election as well. It's going to be a tough election for both campaigns. I think that no campaign has much of an edge over the other, and it's going to be a mano-a-mano mud fight. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe, and have a good day.